Um, Good morning. We had a very good breakfast meeting with the Foreign Minister of Saudi Arabia, and Romania has welcomed the openness of the kingdom to strengthen the relationship and the dialogue with the European Union. I have also welcomed the progress which was made on social reforms, especially on a matter which is very important for the EU and for Romania as well, which is women empowerment and gender balance. There are some evolutions in the social reform in Saudi Arabia. But we have discussed a lot on the Middle East evolutions and Middle East peace process. And I have presented the conclusions from my visit in September to both Israel and Palestine. And my assessment that it is very important that the normalization agreements concluded between Israel and other Arab states are creating an environment of confidence building in the region. And they are creating the environment for a possible resumption of the substantive peace negotiations between the Israel and Palestine on the substance on the peace process. Of course, even if the parties are not yet ready to start these negotiations for various reasons, both internal and external, it is, I think, important, and I have made this point during the meeting, that all actors, including EU and perhaps also the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, encourage the parties to start a dialogue on confidence-building measures on issues which are not necessarily related to the peace process, but which might pave the way for the resumption of the discussion when the conditions will be ripe. I have welcomed this dialogue with the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia and expressed hope that we will continue to work together in order to find solutions to the regional challenges. Today we will have a very busy agenda. We will discuss many important issues. On Nagorno-Karabakh, I will express the view of Romania that the situation is very worrisome, taking into account the intensity of the conflict, which was never seen before. I will make a very strong appeal to the parties, which is in fact a reiteration of our strong appeal to the parties to resume the dialogue and to start discussions on peace and follow strictly the ceasefire which was recently agreed upon and already broken. And I will also express the encouragement for the High Representative to continue to engage closely with both the Azeris and the Armenians in order to find a good solution and to ask them to resume discussions under the framework of the OSCE Minsk Group co-chairs mediation effort. On Belarus, we welcome the recent entry into force of sanctions, which we very much supported, but it is not enough. We see an intensification of the repression of the regime upon the protesters, including during this weekend. We see no intention, the slightest intention, for the regime to start a dialogue with the opposition. Dialogue within a prison cell, as happened 2 years ago in Minsk, is not a proper dialogue with the opposition. So we support more sanctions. We have joined a group of other member states asking for more persons listed, including Mr. Lukashenko. Romania has asked already at the end of August for the inclusion of Mr. Lukashenko on the list of sanctioned people. And if the situation gets even worse, we need to consider more sanctions, perhaps economic sanctions targeting the resources of Mr. Lukashenko. In sign of solidarity, Romania decided on Friday to withdraw for consultations, to recall for consultations our ambassador to Minsk. This decision has become effective as of today. So today our ambassador is traveling from Belarus to Romania. We will discuss also about the Belgrade-Pristina dialogue. This is a very important topic. Romania has supported the inclusion of this topic on the agenda of today's meeting because we consider that we need to give a more profile to this topic on the EU agenda. I'm in close contact with Special Representative Lajčák, and we very much support the efforts of Mr. Lajčák to mediate between the parties in order to reach a comprehensive legal package of agreements between Belgrade and Pristina, which will very much benefit the stability and security of the whole region and of Europe as a whole. We will, of course, discuss today about Russia. Russia is on our agenda as a continuation of the discussions we had at the end of August in Gimnich in Berlin. But we will also discuss Russia in the light of the recent developments regarding Mr. Navalny's poisoning. And as you perhaps remember, even before the former Foreign Affairs Council meeting on the 21st of September, Romania, together with Poland, with Denmark and the Baltic states, have asked for sanctions if Russia does not conduct a proper, impartial, transparent, comprehensive investigation on the poisoning, and if Russia does not cooperate with OPCW. And now, after we have seen that nothing of this happened, and after OPCW reconfirmed the fact that the poisoning took place with this nerve agent Novichok, we think that it is the right time for sanctions to be swiftly adopted, and we will support that during today's meeting. And I'm glad that other member states like France and Germany joined this call, and now we are, I think, well, a lot of member states supporting for the adoption of sanctions against Russia. Last but not least, we will discuss today about multilateralism and how to support multilateralism in order to be more efficient. In our view, in a very well condensed way to say it, well, efficient multilateralism means also respect for human rights, for international law, for democratic values, and it depends a lot on the cooperation with like-minded actors and states. And this means also a reinforcement of the transatlantic link. Cooperation with the United States, despite the differences that are between us, is very important. We have to overcome these differences because what unites us is even more important than what separates us for the time being. We are a unique community of values and security, and we need to preserve and enforce it. Thank you.